This is the UK's cheapest EV, the basic and reliable Dacia Spring. Now, as interesting as this may sound, you don't get much for your money. So why don't you get something interesting? Why don't you get a classic? The thing is, it'd be very hard to find a classic car that's reliable. However, what if I told you that I found 10 for the same price? Now I had to start this video off with the 240. This thing was an absolute revolution for Volvo. It was an instant success. Its 2.3 litre red block engine was instantly reliable and is very tunable. This is a perfect family car even today. This thing has held up incredibly well and probably will do for decades to come. Even early models like this one with the round headlights are still super cheap. As nice as the 240 is, everyone and their nan has one. However, the Volvo Amazon is slightly different. The Amazon was the predecessor to the 240. Well, very early predecessor to the 240. This has the V20 engine, the engine that was famously able to reach 3 million miles when placed in a Volvo P1800, one of the highest mileage cars in the world. This thing is very rare, but surprisingly, still cheap, even restored examples. The Volvos are great cars. However, if you want something a bit more sophisticated, then why don't you go to Germany and buy a Mercedes W123? This car is also a tank, similar to the 240. This thing is basically indestructible, especially with a diesel engine. In fact, this was the generation where the 300TD was introduced, one of the most reliable and most notorious family cars ever made. The 280 is the most unloved Z car. It was too big, too heavy, too slow, and honestly not too good to drive. However, this was the first Z car to be introduced with a turbocharger, and that was pretty cool. However, people still don't really like these even today, and you still get the classic Z car styling, and it was actually a lot more reliable because the engine's very low stress. And now, these can be found for way under 15 grand. As you know, I love Suzuki Jeeps. They're small and can still conquer the same terrain as a Land Rover. This thing is the original Suzuki Jimny, a car which is still used by thousands of people, especially in warmer parts of Europe such as Greece. This car is well capable of going hundreds of thousands of miles, properly maintained, and it's economical. There aren't many for sale in the UK, but here's one in France. For something small with a bit more spice, you can get a Golf GTI Mark 1, the original, the second hot hatch ever made. I'll make another video on that another time. However, the Golf GTI is reliable, it's easy to work on, and it's still fun to drive even to this day. This is one of the best driver's cars you can get, and these will easily do 300,000 miles if maintained. However, modified examples are most common for this price. If you want something with similar performance but a bit more understated, then back to Sweden we go, to Saab. Saab build very reliable cars, well, at least they did. This is one of them, the Saab 99, the first time Saab introduced a turbo to their car. This is a pretty cool car for the money, and actually is the predecessor to the 900. This thing is a great daily driver, very economical, has a hatchback, and they're still very cheap. BMW's track record for reliability isn't particularly good. However, 40 years ago that was not the case. This is the original BMW 3 Series, an old BMW which hasn't skyrocketed in price. These can be found for less than £12,000, and with a 6-cylinder, and you can even get the manual as well, So this is a BMW Classic, which is a complete bargain. Now, Porsche are a German brand who know how to make reliable cars. Well, sometimes know how to make reliable cars. This is a reliable car, don't worry about it. Porsche 924 is a perfect daily for someone who wants a classic but still wants reliability. And for the same price as a Dacia Spring, you can get a 924 Turbo with the 2.5 litre turbo Porsche engine making 175 horsepower. That is pretty nice. And last but not least, how could we not forget Toyota, who make some of the most reliable cars ever made, including the world's most indestructible Toyota Hilux. However, the car in this list is a bit more interesting, Celica Supra. Now, it's very reliable if maintained, for similar reasons to the Datsun very low stress engine. And it looks so much cooler, especially with those pop-up headlights. Now, if I were to pick any one of these, I would choose this, the Datsun. Look, I know it's slow, but it's just such a good daily. It doesn't encourage you to drive like a complete hooligan. So actually, it's a perfectly relaxed cruiser. It's got 4 seats, it looks beautiful, and it will turn so many heads. So if you want me to make any more videos like this, please let me know. Let me know any cars I've missed as well.